Super Nintendo was a console with so much good games in every style, and it was even hard to make this list. Let's see the 50 best Super Nintendo games in my opinion. If you find that I forgot or should put any other game here, just leave a comment and also leave your like and subscribe to the channel that I'm posting videos almost every day here. Really appreciate your presence here. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go to the video. Super Mario World, the biggest 2D Super Mario game ever, a great and absolute platformer game, the biggest game of Super Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country, the game that started Donkey Kong platformer era, a game with impressive graphics, a good gameplay and insane soundtracks. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, definitive action-adventure game for Super Nintendo, a solid and fun Zelda game with an excellent gameplay and map design. Super Bomberman, the classic Bomberman game, a strategy action game and a unique style with a fluid gameplay, good levels and fun boss fights. F-Zero, one of the best racing games of its time, a futurist game that did a great job creating a sort of 3D environment in a 2D game. Super Metroid, a game that no one was expecting to be so good, an excellent Metroidvania that was released even before of Castlevania Symphony of the Night and helped to create this subgenre. Top Gear, for me the most iconic racing game of Super Nintendo, a game with beautiful visuals, a good gameplay, nice races and one of the best soundtracks ever created. Super Castlevania IV, an excellent action-adventure game with great levels, challenging boss fights, good soundtracks and a rich lore. Contra 3, The Alien Wars, a hardcore and famous run-and-gun series, an excellent game with great graphics and a addictive gameplay. Super Punch-Out, a charismatic boxing game. You start from zero and need to reach the top of the world, with a responsive gameplay and a unique style. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, an awesome beat-em-up game with great levels and gameplay, lost many times in history, even more fun to play with friends. Star Fox, a spaceship game that changed everything in its time, creating an impressive 3D simulation and a 2D console, creating an extremely fun game. Super Ghouls'n Ghosts, a charismatic, unique and extremely hard action game set in a dark and dangerous world where you must pass the levels defeating different creatures and enemies. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, a game that showed us that Mario could be also an JRPG, and a very good one by the way, with an excellent gameplay. Kirby's Dream Land 3, a classic Kirby game, mixing platformer style with a sort of beat 'em up. The fun thing about the game is using different powers you can absorb from the enemies. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, for me the best platformer game ever created, a clear evolution of the first game with better graphics, gameplay and mainly the boss fights. Secret of Mana, a beautiful and immersive action RPG, mixing the fast gameplay of action-adventure games with a RPG lore and system. Chrono Trigger, thought by many as the best JRPG of all time. The game is set in a huge and immersive world with a massive storytelling and a fun gameplay. Mega Man X, the returning of Mega Man, a excellent run-and-gun game with a better gameplay, great levels and boss fights, great powers and a lot of secret items. Mortal Kombat II, a brutal fighting game with charismatic and unique characters, and probably one of the first games that gave this brutality level to the players. Pilotwings, a flight simulator game released in 1990, even before of Star Fox, and already had an excellent 3D simulation, a very fun game. Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, the second part of Mario World, but now you are Yoshi, and you must help the baby Mario to reach his goal, a game with a unique graphic style. Killer Instinct, a classic fighting game that the main point was doing insane combos, with quirky characters and a fast-paced gameplay. Street Fighter II, the game that helped to popularize fighting games, with great characters, insane boss fights, and in my opinion, the best Street Fighter game. Disney Aladdin, a platformer game with an extremely beautiful graphic, set in a world of Aladdin, with a fluid gameplay and nice levels. Kirby Superstar, another game of this beloved platformer series with a charismatic visual style, fun superpowers and a classic soundtrack. Super Mario Kart, the game that created this subgenre. An excellent kart game, allowing you to play with different Mario's characters, racing and using power boxes to win the races. Final Fight, a classic beat-em-up game. It was impossible to turn this game on and don't have fun, especially playing with friends. It's worth to play to this day. The Lion King, a platformer game set in the universe of The Lion King, with impressive graphics, a good gameplay and charismatic levels. Mega Man X2, the sequel of Mega Man X, with even better graphics, harder challenges, and a very good soundtrack, one of the best of the series. You'd made Mortal Kombat 3, the definitive Mortal Kombat experience, with a lot of playable characters, classic arenas, and a ultra brutality level in the game. Demon's Crest, a immersive and dark action-adventure game with a good gameplay and graphics, and some insane boss fights, a classic one. EarthBound, a very fun RPG game with a childish approach, but with an interesting storyline and a charismatic visual style. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie's Kong Double Trouble, the third and last Donkey Kong platformer game for the Super Nintendo, with even better graphics, a fun gameplay, and fun boss fights. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventure, a hard but very good 2D action-adventure game. The game is set in the classic scenarios of the series, with a fun gameplay and even boss fights. Harvest Moon. If you like farming games and don't know this one, you should. This is basically the first game in this style. It's still a great pastime experience in a game. Breath of Fire, a medieval and fun JRPG, the second game of the series, with a rich universe and a nice gameplay. Dragon Quest III, a absolute class JRPG, a game extremely popular to this day, with a great story, nice combat system, and very good characters. Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy is still one of the biggest JRPG series to this day, despite it changed, but the fourth game is an immersive and rich game, with a great lore and characters. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, a unique and extremely charismatic run-and-gun game, with a fast-paced gameplay and a universe filled with zombies and other threats. Axelay, one of the best games of spaceship shoot-em-up, a absolutely gorgeous game with a great gameplay, nice levels and boss fights. Castlevania Dracula X, another great adventure in the universe of Castlevania, a challenging game with numerous enemies and boss fights. Super Bomberman 3, the third game of the series, with new features, new challenges, and an extremely fun co-op or PvP mode. Mega Man X3, and again the classic run-and-gun series back, and as always, a game that every fan of challenging 2D games should play, a masterpiece. Illusion of Gaia, another great action RPG for Super Nintendo, a game with a great story and universe, a nice exploration and an immersive lore. Super Bomberman IV. If you enjoy the other games of the series, it's highly recommended for you to play this one. A lot of people have this one as their favorite, a really good one. Metal Warriors, an action game that controls huge robots, each one of them with their own features, like different weapons, movements, and more, with a rousing PvP mode. Super Mario All-Star, a game with some old Mario games, all set in a better visual style and audio system, especially Mario 3. Dragon Quest V, another great experience in the universe of Dragon Quest, a game with an insane visual style, a fun universe and great characters. Final Fantasy VI, the classic JRPG with another unprecedented journey, a game with an immersive universe, beautiful 2D graphics, and a true JRPG experience. This was the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, saying if you found that I forgot any game, just put in the comments, I'll be reading that. And if you enjoyed, I could make a second part of the 50 best games part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber yet. That will really support the channel. Thank you so much and so long.